everyone, it's Magda. Today, please excuse the rumbling sound in the background. That is my bathroom light. I'm sat on the floor in my bathroom today filming a video because it is pitch black outside and my bathroom has the best light in the house. So, today I am going to be doing a revision video because I figured that I've been through GCSEs and I know what it's like. And I have quite a few tips and tricks that I could give people, mostly from my own mistakes, but still. So I decided to start a series called How to Get an A Star In, because I know that especially when I was revising, I didn't know exactly what I was supposed to be doing to guarantee an A star in the end. I didn't know what worked, so I was just being a sheep and blindly following what people told me to do, and some of those things really did not work. So for the first episode I decided to do science because science is my favourite subject, so I'm gonna start off with science. So without further ado, let's just get on to the video. So my very first tip for revising science is definitely start early. Start early, people! Because science, you may not realise this until you get very close to the exam, but it is so content heavy, so content heavy. There is so much to learn, especially if you do triple science. You have 3 sciences plus all your other subjects, which you also have to fit in. So definitely start revising science at least a few months in advance, because otherwise you're just going to get overloaded with the science, and this is the #1 mistake that I made. So definitely if you take one thing from this video, just start revising now. My next tip for you is to make mind maps. I loved mind maps at GCSE. I don't tend to do them a lot for A-level anymore because I just don't have the time to handwrite stuff. But for GCSE I did have time, so I made mind maps, and it would be good if I could go and get one. One sec. Okay. So I bought my chemistry stuff because that was basically the first thing that I could find. So water's probably not a good example because I hated that topic. So this is just an example of a mind map that I made. This is chemistry energy calculations, and obviously I know that the spec has changed. I don't really know what's on the new spec for anything, but anyway, this is kind of the thing that I did, and what mind maps really help you do is separate stuff into topics. Because I know that a lot of the times if you're looking through your notes it can just feel so overwhelming, just like I have so much stuff to do. But really if you separate it into topics and do it systematically, it's not that hard. Are you serious? Really? Oh, for Christ's sake, the boiler turned on. Literally, whenever I start to film a video, the sun comes out in my room and just completely blinds me. Like, it's a perfect day for filming, and then when I sit down to film, it's like, hi, I'm here to ruin your day. So, like, you can see that I've kind of separated them by, like, topic. And I think this really helps you in kind of trying to organise information in your head, and also just for ease of finding stuff. And also it helps you with kind of understanding it, because within each topic you can make subtopics categorizing all the information again. And I think categorizing really helps because it helps you process the information and see which bits fit in where. And moving on from grouping things, I think another important thing is to make links between topics, because especially our biology teacher really reiterates this in class for A-level, but I don't see why it wouldn't work for GCSE. Basically, by making links between different topics, it will improve your understanding of the topics. So like outline the similarities and differences between certain things. So for example, we are currently doing like exchange in organisms in biology. So you could outline the similarities and differences between like gas exchange in an insect and gas exchange in a plant or fish or whatever. And also it just helps tie the topic together, and it shows you that everything links them, especially in chemistry, guys. Everything links. Literally there are links everywhere. Another tool that is quite important in science GCSE is Quizlet! Quizlet for the win. Oh my gosh, I loved Quizlet. I don't tend to use it as much anymore because I really do not have the time right now. But at GCSE I had more time, so Quizlet was great. So basically, I used Quizlet for 2 reasons, or does that make sense? English wasn't my forte. But basically, I use Quizlet either to go through vocab. So I know you may be thinking like, vocab? What? Science? Really? Yes. There are certain words that you just need to know, and it will make your life so much easier. Sometimes there will be questions which ask you, what is blah? And all you have to do is know the definition, and there is an easy mark. If you don't know the definition, you don't get the mark. I mean, they're in the back of your textbook most of the time. I think making them into flashcards is a lot more beneficial, just because, especially on your phone, you can do it pretty much anywhere. Like, you don't have to have your textbook on you. Because let's just face it, you always have your phone on you anyway, because teenagers! And the second thing that I used Quizlet for was quizzes. I mean, shock horror. Basically, I searched up like AQA biology GCSE questions, and there was like some quizzes with like about 200 questions, and they would just be like normal questions, like for example, I don't know, which type of cell produces antibodies. And this was really good for like if I were sitting somewhere waiting for something and I had nothing to do, just pull out Quizlet, go through a few of them, and it's kind of like passive revision, I guess, because it's quite fun going through the quiz and kind of seeing how you're doing, and also obviously you're kind of revising because you get some knowledge in there. So that's good. So the next revision tip that I have for science is Christopher Thornton. His YouTube channel is so helpful. So helpful. Literally, like, watching YouTube videos I think is such a good way of revising, not like all of your revision. Do not just watch a YouTube video and then be like, I revised that now. No. First, read over the topic, revise it from your textbook, from your school notes, from your own notes, whatever. Then watch a video on it, because watching a video afterwards, number one, for people who learn better by like watching things and like listening to people talk, it will help you a lot by watching a video. But number two, for people who just don't mind, it will kind of consolidate what you've already learned, which is what you need to be doing, because there is no point of revising it, forgetting it, and then having to go back and revise it again. So YouTube videos are great. He explains stuff so well. It's so concise, like 10-minute video about, I don't know, the immune system or kidney stuff in biology. Like, 10-minute video, really not going to take up that much of your time. And also, sometimes there are a few little extra facts here and there that you can pick up from his videos. Another tip, this one is quite important. This you should do before you even start revision, is look at your specification. Because if you do not know what you are supposed to be revising, then I really can't help you. You need to know what you actually need to know, and that sounds really weird. But basically, you need to be sure of what from the textbook you actually need to know for the exam and what is just added in. Because the textbook loves to add in extra cool pieces of information which you really do not need to know. And this is, again, a lot more prominent at A level, but still at GCSE, just look at the spec, make sure you know what you have to know for the exam, and then just go off of the specification. Just go down it, make sure that you've covered everything in your revision, because if you haven't revised everything on the spec, you cannot expect to get a good mark. So yeah, do that. Do it. So the next tip, I know it may be a bit harder for people now, because obviously the GCSEs are completely changed from this year. They are new. There aren't pretty much any past papers. I think there's like one specimen paper. But just do the specimen paper, number one. And number two, just do the past papers from previous years from the old spec, because even like we did past papers from like 2008, which were definitely not on our spec. But you need to be doing a lot of past papers. I cannot stress this enough. Do all the past papers that you can for pretty much every single subject, but especially for science, because you definitely need to get a feel of the kind of questions that they love to ask. but just definitely try to get used to answering the questions. If you haven't done enough practice, you are just going to get baffled by the type of questions that they ask, and you are going to get confused by like what they actually want from you. But if you've done similar questions, you are going to know what they're asking for. So just do past papers, do questions, do just any questions you can really get your hands on. Don't just, if you've done all the past papers, which I mean it's a lot, but still, if you've done all the past papers, just do extra questions that you find in the textbook, just on the internet, anywhere really. And this is especially important in stuff like biology, because biology love to ask a question and you think you have nailed it, you think you have written everything you know about that topic, you are like, there is no way I can lose marks, and then you get like 1 out of 3 because they look for such specific things in science, especially biology, that you will never know what they're looking for unless you have done similar questions. And this is something that I really hate about biology exams, is you can know the topic inside and out, you can know literally everything and even beyond what you need to know, but if you can't answer the actual questions that I ask you, you're gonna fail. My next tip is, again, a bit more for A level, but I know that they're making them harder, so I'm just gonna put it in here. Do extra reading. Read outside your subject, because it will really help, even if you don't understand everything that you read, because you're not really gonna understand everything that you read outside what you need to know, because you don't have enough baseline like information to actually understand that. But it will help you understand the content that you're doing more, which is always good, because if you don't understand the content, you're not going to remember it. So there we go. And obviously don't read up about every single topic, because that's just, it's going to take you too long. You don't have that much time in life. So just do this for topics that you don't quite understand, you don't quite got the hang of yet. Because I know that a lot of the time the textbook can get a bit confusing and the teacher might not be very good, and then you may be very lost. So a lot of other sources might put it in words which are easier to understand for you than your textbook can possibly. So definitely just look around. If you don't understand it, look around on the internet. It is a big place. I'm sure there is something that will explain it for you. Do not be scared to ask the teacher. This is one of my main problems, is I'm a bit too scared to ask the teacher for help. Not as bad now, but at GCSE it was a bit of a problem. Don't kind of like restrain yourself from asking the teacher because you think that it's like a dumb question and they're gonna think you're stupid, because it's better off that you actually understand the information and you may feel like they think you're a bit of a thick person, which you probably aren't, because guaranteed a third of your class probably have the same question as you, than just having the teacher think that you understand everything perfectly, but in real life you're sat at home literally crying over your textbook because you have no clue what's going on. Another tip for science, and just generally anything, but I use this mostly for science, especially chemistry, is make, I think they're called mnemonics. I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't know why I'm making this video. Just do kind of things like oil rig, oxidation is loss, reduction is gain, and also our chemistry teacher taught us one that was panic, which was positive anode, negative is cathode, so we could remember which one. And I still use these to this day because I cannot remember which one is the anode. So yeah, and I think this is my last tip. This video is already very long, but my last tip is to condense the information from the textbook and your class notes into nice, concise notes. This is probably a bit too elaborate, I must say. I was going for the concise notes. I mean, still, it's a lot better because it's like 1 page versus like 10 pages in the textbook, but definitely condense them because it helps your brain process the information. By this I mean basically you have to think about it and you have to try to, I guess, understand it and kind of link stuff together to condense the information as much as possible, so I think that that would really help in your understanding and also therefore remembering, because remember, you have to actually understand the stuff before you can actually memorize it, because if you don't understand it, you're just going to forget it, which is me with meiosis all the time, literally. Meiosis is, oh, whenever I look at it, I'm like, I don't get it. Then I find something on the internet and I'm like, oh, I get it now, it's great. And then 1 week later, I look back at it and I'm like, so what was going on again? Because I don't get it anymore. Literally, meiosis is my actual enemy, but still, never mind. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful in some respect. I don't know if this was helpful. I mean, it's just me having a bit of a ramble. But if you did find it in any way helpful, give it a thumbs up. Also, if you have any other requests for any other subjects that you want me to do, just comment them down below. Yeah, subscribe to my channel if you like these revision videos, because I will be doing a lot more, and probably after my AS exams I will do an A-level kind of AS version of this as well. So yeah, so I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye!